Say what's up. Oh.
Hi.
Say. Oh no. Let's not do that. I think I just almost ended the video accidentally, baby.
Can you tell everybody hi? Hi.
You say hi? Let's see. It's kind of dark, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit.
You guys don't see what we see. There's like stuff on the screen and Facebook changes. We don't like change, do we? I don't want to tag friends, no. All right, there we go. Let's try that. Okay, we're just gonna leave it alone. Not gonna touch it. Right? Does that sound good? Don't touch it? You want to touch it, don't you? You want to touch that screen?
Yeah.
Hello, Ontario.
Wow.
I wonder if you're getting a cold front. It may already be cold there.
Yeah.
What's up, Dale? Yes, Stephanie.
Do you see yourself?
What do you think, buddy?
Do you see
What do
yourself?
you think? You want to say hi? You want to say hi to everybody?
We've been working on it. We've been working, haven't we?
Uh-huh.
Hi. Hi.
You do that? You do a fist bump? Fist bump?
Hi.
Hey, guys. Coming in, North Carolina, Florida. Oh, Florida.
You can say a couple of words.
What do you want to say? You want to tell them what words you can say?
Yeah, tell them. Say.
Hey.
Hey? Is that a word?
Say, mama. Mama.
You're trying. Mama.
And he says, Dada, way more
Pete.
than
Hey,
Mama.
Holly. Hey, Rob. Yeah, he says,
He says Dada way more,
yeah.
but Mama
Yeah.
was first. Yeah.
As far as you know, I might not have told you. No, it was first.
Let's see.
Mama, Dada. What else? He says Kiki,
He says JJ.
Kentucky, Augusta, New Hampshire.
Yeah, and that's his new word for the week is Kiki.
Kiki.
Yeah, because
Kiki. You say Kiki?
the cat was around. But yeah,
Can
Kiki.
you say Kiki? Hensley's hanging out with Grandma. She's a handful on. I don't know. She's so much energy. And so we try to get her in here for a few minutes, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. I think she's distracted over there right now. But
Yeah, she loves.
where's Harrison Hot Springs, Stephen? Do you know where that? Have you heard of that, Harrison? Curious, Stephen, where that's at. Yeah, I'm watching everybody. Sorry, we're trying to say hi to everybody as you coming in. Pennsylvania.
Hensley
Peter.
loves going over to my mom's house, and I was wondering, you all right? I was like, wow, she really likes being over at my mom's. Then I walk over, and she's eating like a whole pack of donuts, and she's got new toys over there, and I'm like, oh, I see what's going on.
So, yeah, Karen say our voice is off from our mouth. I hope that lines up on its own. We debated on where to do this. Honestly, the internet connection is not that great at her sister's house either. So we're doing it here, and I'm doing it on our AT&T for the first time because Verizon. So I think Verizon, because we've came back here and we've been here a little while, or they know we're coming back, I don't know. But they've started capping like everything we've got at 1 meg. So as you know, 1 meg is not great. Low connection. So let me know. Hopefully Facebook will do okay with this. I hope it catches up, lines up some things, and hope everything's semi-smooth with the discussion and stuff and chatting with you guys. So, yeah, we got Cookville there. There's Stephen in Cookville. No, wait, let's see. Let's see. Alicia in Pennsylvania. BC, Canada. Okay. All right. That's where Stephen says that was. The hot springs. Yeah, Everett in Cookville.
Oh, cool.
Driving through Arkansas to our stop for the week at Old Davidson State Park. Never been there. Lynchburg, Virginia. We've been through Lynchburg. We've been in that area, I know.
Yeah, we've been in the area.
So yeah, we've been back in Tennessee 2 weeks-ish, I guess, something like that. So we did Halloween, and then we're gearing up for Thanksgiving, and then Christmas, and then we're gonna be heading south to Florida. It looks like. hope we get to meet the Moss next year. Staying warm. All right, so yeah, and we're gonna talk about. Man, I know some of you guys might be in RVs. Some of you guys might be looking at getting in an RV, and that is definitely.
Dad,
You're gonna be a little chatterbox, aren't you? Dad. You gonna let us talk, and you go see Grandma? Dad. You're silly. He's a good baby. We didn't get a lot of sleep last night, but he's good during the daytime. He's a good baby all the time. He's just better than anyway. I'll just stop saying things. Live scares Marissa to death. Just we're heading to Florida, and we did 1,000 Trails again. We haven't booked anything yet. There's Laura's in Orlando. We're hoping to get into something around the Orlando area and 1,000 Trails, and then also doing maybe the Keys, some national parks that we didn't know were a big deal last time we went to Florida. We have been to Florida. We have done the Keys before, but it was before we were filming everything, and we were like the Class A. So, Hensley, you want to say hi? You want to come say hi?
Hi.
What are you doing over at Grandma's? Huh? Eating donuts?
Oh, goodness. Oh. Are you excited to be back in Tennessee? You excited to be back in Tennessee? Yeah. Are you excited to go to Florida too, though, when we go to Florida? She's distracted.
JJ is very distracting.
He's a distracting baby.
Do you want me to take him over there with you? Mm-hmm. All right, let me take JJ over there with you. Say bye.
Say see you later.
Say bye. Bye. Yeah.
All right, she'll be back in a minute. So Jeff will be in Florida too. So if you're thinking about, they're saying see ya. See you, JJ. Bye, buddy. And so if you're thinking about RVing, Florida's kind of, I think the Southwest can be this way too, but they can be kind of like reunions, I guess, where especially the Quartzsite area is where there's a lot of people in the winter. And then in the winter in Florida, there's some people in Texas as well, but it seems like Florida and Quartzsite, there's more. But definitely Florida, especially families, it seems like there's a lot going on there. So we're going to be bouncing around Florida January, February, and probably part of March. I know we'll be going to Alabama to do the RV Entrepreneur Summit in March, and there's also a full-time family rally in Alabama too, sometime in March, I think. So do you want to, here, look who just walked in. He just does what he wants. You're getting to see everybody today. We did not buy a cat. It's not even officially our cat. It's really sad, actually. Nobody kind of claims him. Like, everybody chips in and takes care of. He's Pico, but he's not officially anybody's. He's just kind of the community cat or whatever. So, he's a good cat, though. He's super friendly toward kids, catches rodents and all that kind of stuff. And so, we don't mind having him around. And then when we leave, we're not taking care of him and keeping him with us. He just sort of stays here while different people take care of him, and then we come back and he's hanging out with us again. And that's kind of the deal. So, but cold weather, we will touch on cold weather, I guess, since we felt like we needed a theme. But definitely, if you guys got other random questions, feel free to ask random questions. We love randomness, and then sometimes we talk about random things too. And we've definitely made some mistakes with cold weather. I actually already made a mistake with cold weather this year because usually the mistakes with cold weather happen when it comes out of nowhere. Like, I just didn't expect it to get in the lower 20s this fast. Yeah, Julianne's asking about the live video. So it is only Facebook. We tried. Going out, Pico. Going out, buddy. Come on. Here, come here. He doesn't want to go. Say goodbye. Say goodbye.
Come here.
Quartzsite does have a lot of people. True story, Renell. I don't know. I guess if you get there at the right time and kind of stake out your area, maybe it's not as bad. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of people in Quartzsite in the winter, and other times too. But I was kind of telling them our plans: Florida, and then the Keys, and then we talked about some of that, 1,000 Trails. But yeah, I don't know what's been. Jenny's asking about: do we find places to stay last minute in Florida? Or do we book in advance? So we've done mainly last minute. But because we're in a larger rig this time and we're hoping to stay longer periods of time, we may actually book some things. So I think it's kind of your travel style. So know that if you're willing to move pretty quick, and you've got some flexibility, and especially if you've got like 35 feet or less, Florida, even in the winter, I feel like it's doable to bounce around with not as many plans. Because what you do is you look for these state parks or Disney or something really cool you want to get into that's hard to get into, but you're looking for the stuff during the week. So you get 3-4 nights in the middle of the week, which is enough to enjoy Disney or enjoy a state park that's really cool. So you're looking for those cancellations or just maybe those gaps that nobody wants. You take those, and then on the weekend, that's when it's tougher. You might have to get like a mom and pop with no amenities that's not super nice or super great on location, and you just kind of hang out there and recoup on the weekend, and then again the next week you're looking for something. So you can do it, but if you're wanting to stay 1 week at a time or 2 weeks at a time, where you're like catching 2 weekends, especially at a time, that's kind of why I think we're gonna, and that's what some people are asking about Thousand Trails. I mean, I think we're gonna try to do Thousand Trails this year and see, but it's tricky with Thousand Trails too. Like, from what I understand, like TTO, which is the Thousand Trails near Orlando, one of them, it can be tricky to get in last minute. So that's kind of our hodgepodge answer, I guess.
And I've heard the Keys is really
the
tough
Keys is
to
like,
do.
you got to book to the minute a year in advance unless you
Yeah.
get a cancellation of some sort. So we'll watch for
see.
cancellations, but if we don't get cancellation, we're probably just going to have to drive into the Keys and hang out or whatever. Yeah, Pico, the third child. he pretty much is.
Oh, our kids love animals. Like, they're crazy about him, so it works out.
Lori said, and I think part of the thinking too of doing our chats at 3 p.m. on Sundays is like, if you guys watch the most recent video and you want to ask any questions or talk about that because it just came out, Lori said the Thousand Island video, and I think I said Thousand Island the whole time. I think it's technically Thousand Islands. Thousand Islands like the dressing, right?
Oh.
I don't know. I'm sure we'll get comments saying it's Thousand Islands, not Thousand Island, like the dressing. We like intentionally butcher everything, but yeah. She said she went. Yeah. Oh yeah, unintentionally. See, I even butchered that.
Even butchered.
But yeah, she said she went 3 years ago, and the castle was filled with graffiti. So maybe they've made real good progress the last few years.
Wow.
It is crazy when you start seeing the levels with the graffiti and the amount of damage that was done to that place. Like, that had to have been. I've been scared to go over there and go in there. Like,
I bet it was pretty creepy if you were there.
People
by
only
yourself.
took boats over there, and just who
Yeah.
knows? Who knows before they took it over and started fixing it up. Like, let's see. Renell's asking about if we'll be at Thousand Trails. We're trying to get into Claremont, which is TTO, because if you have a family, there's probably more families at that one than any other one. We want Hensley to have the chance for interaction, so we're trying to get into that one. I don't know if we will or not. If we don't, we might have to buy. You can buy. It's like even more money. An additional pass is $219 for the Trails collection, and then we can probably get into one of those for sure if we do that. What's up, Brian? Wandering Gantz. Let's see. 3 flags, 329 to 412 or so, and that's one of the. I'm assuming that's one of the Thousand Trails, I guess. I don't know all the names yet, but I'm pretty sure that sounds right. Renell says they like their, yeah, okay, yeah, so that's one of the Thousand Trails. Yeah, it was sad to see the castle like that. I agree, Lori. Glad they got it cleaned up. Yes.
It was fun. It was a fun experience. We hadn't done anything like that before, so.
Yeah, Rob just shared a secret, and we'll talk about it since it's on here. It's not a secret. So we've never mentioned that. We've known about Wandering Labs for, it's like, so if you do social media, there's general tips, and then there's like
Insider
tips, which we share a lot of with you guys that we don't share on YouTube, and that's one of them. I think I don't know if we've mentioned that on here or not, but it's on there. So yeah, like the wanderinglabs.com that he's talking about. If you check that out, you can watch for cancellations and stuff like that. Is a good way to see that too. So, but that'd be our only thing. Like, as we mentioned that, and I'm sure Rob feels the same way. Like, if you blast it everywhere, everybody knows, and then nobody's getting cancellations, because everybody's doing it at the same time. So if you want to check out the site, it's pretty cool what he's done there.
Yeah, when it's one of those like campfire tips, and when somebody
yes.
shares it with you, it's just kind of an unwritten rule that you keep it in small groups. Otherwise, like Nathan said, you will get backlash if you share stuff that kind of messes that up. So people are always like, I'm going to share this with you, but just keep this in your like small groups instead of like you know, your bigger groups kind of thing. So
'Cause
that's how it was shared with us. Like, do not say this on your
yeah. It was another social media, you know, somebody on social media. That
and people won't tell us hidden gems a lot of times too.
I think they're afraid we're gonna.
They're like, if I tell you, then you're gonna show it on your YouTube, and
so
then
we probably miss out on some stuff.
Yeah, so we've had people tell us that before. Like, we're not sharing that with you because you're gonna tell.
Which we have. I don't know. I mean, it's not. I'm not saying it's us. It's definitely everybody showing it. Like when we went to the Balloon Fiesta 3-4 years ago, like you could just show up. You didn't even need like you guys that had tried to reserve this year, like it filled up in 40 minutes this year.
Crazy.
Like you used to be able to just show up. You didn't need reservations 4 years ago. And now and I feel like that's a big part of it. Everybody's been showing it. How cool it is, because it is in an RV. Like it fills up in 40 minutes. 8 months in advance. When they open reservations, it's gone in 40 minutes. And it used to not be like that. So I feel like it's been shown a lot and people want to experience it, and they should, and it's awesome. Upper Teton View is something that comes to mind. I know people have said it's just packed up there now. So it's definitely, so it's like, I don't know, it's that fine line. We definitely want to show stuff because we want people to experience these things. And I don't know if any of the spots we showed in Alaska a year ago, if a lot of people went to those spots, who knows?
Yeah.
I don't know. So I think it's definitely getting, like we've done this, we're in our 5th year. I can definitely say like, it's getting harder to find these little spots. It's getting harder to get into places. I'm amazed. I don't know. Marissa wants to open a campground. Maybe you should. I don't know. So like,
thank you.
I didn't say I would. I just said that's what she wants to do.
I know I mean, maybe if we get some opinion here, they could give us some feedback. But I don't know why I have this desire on my heart to open a campground and like host events.
I'm more okay with hosting the events. I think it's just the campground, the managing of the campground, which I know you can outsource. I understand, but there's more to it probably. I like the idea of an event or events or things like that.
One day maybe. That's
Heather
my
said
goal.
so we're talking about the castle. Heather said was there really writing on the walls from as late as 20. Yes, like that. I think that was more amazing. Like the stuff from 1936 or whatever. Like was the fact that somebody within the last year was still writing on the walls in that castle upstairs, because I didn't see any cameras or anything. Like they had signs saying don't do it, but people were still doing it.
A lot of your like very historical places, like they'll have signs and say there's like big fines for doing graffiti. Like if you're like national parks and national historical stuff, you'll definitely see where you can get in big trouble for messing up stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't hear about it happening, them finding people enough. I feel like, because it's man, we've seen like petroglyphs and stuff that's like crazy old, and then right next to it, Peter was here with a Z, and it's just like, now Peter, come on, man. Like, and maybe Peter was, a Native American. I don't know, but I really doubt it. Yeah, Peter said first winter in the Northeast in his travel trailer. So,
did you just see Peter's name and use him as an example?
Yeah. Oh, maybe that. Yeah, subliminally. Sorry, Peter. If you did, I'm sorry. I wasn't calling you out.
He's not Peter with a Z though.
Yeah. Well, Peter. I meant Peter was with a Z. Okay. Yeah, not Peter literally. Yeah, Trish is talking about, and this is why this is on our mind, and I know a lot of you guys that are interested in RVing, and you're going to see and hear about this. There's a legit cold front coming in next week.
I am not looking forward to it.
In Tennessee, it's dropping, 40 degrees in like 4 days. So, or really that it'll probably drop 30 degrees in 24 hours or something, which definitely isn't unheard of. Love the red light music start. Yeah, Gary. So Gary knows. Yeah, I like doing stuff with lights, and we haven't shared this too much. I get, so that was a toll booth. Marissa makes fun of me. I'm like super, super paranoid about not being ready at the toll booth. Like as soon as I see a toll booth,
you when we go through a film you as we go through a toll booth. Like
I'm like, get the money, and I'm like I'm calculating it out. I just have this paranoia about people being behind me in line.
Calm down, Nathan. Like it's okay if somebody has to wait just a second. I'm like trying to find the money, and he's like, hand me the money, hand me the money.
And I want to be exact change, so we don't have to wait on it.
Yeah, he gets mad if I have to. I don't know what it is about. They really get you going.
I don't know. It does. Well, it's tricky because they do show as you're pulling up. Most of them will say what the cars it's going to be or what it is, per axle. But then they've even started charging. Yeah, you get up there and they're like, no. It used to be per axle. Now that's not enough money. Now it's per tire. So they're even charging extra for the dually, when we're not even towing anything sometimes.
So I think I have the right money, and then
yeah,
obviously I don't.
So Cole, and this is actually on my list of the first thing to update before we got going, which is taking us 21 minutes to get going, but I guess we're technically going, right? Asking about the update on Nomad Near Me. So, okay, so we spent almost, from the time the initial conversation took place between myself and Nathan and, the other RVer that's, himself and his wife, they're helping us with this for sure. Like actually I say helping, like they're doing most all the work. Like just him and Grace are just awesome. So from the time we had that conversation, it's been over 2 years. I'm not saying we've worked on it straight the entire 2 years, but we've pretty much off and on for 2 years been working on this app. We got to the point, if you don't know what Nomad Near Me is, it's an app we're developing for iOS that basically automates the process of you seeing where people are at around you so you can connect, and you can filter based on interests or kids or age. And it also, at least the previous plan, it randomized your location so that people could just kind of get an idea of where you're at, and it's not creepy enough where they know exactly where you're at. So it was doing all that. We had the map. We actually got a beta. If you want to be in it, you can hang out in there. It is going to change from what you see because we had that beta. We submitted the app, 3-4 weeks ago-ish. And Apple said, hey, it's great, you're good to go. We made a few tweaks to the app, submitted it again, because you have to submit it each time you make tweaks. And for some reason, the second time we submitted it, they were like, and maybe this is because all their privacy stuff, this is right before the iOS, the event and all that, where they made security changes. I don't know if you guys have noticed on your phones, if you have iOS, it's popping up all the time. Blah, blah, blah has been using your location in the background. I'll allow it to continue, yada, yada. So people have been abusing location tracking in the background. So Apple's been cracking down on it. And another thing they're doing is not allowing these apps to show where people are at on a map, which was what our app was all about. So at this point, we've gone through appeals. We've resubmitted the app with the map doing different things in different ways. But it's basically came down to it. It just does not look like they're going to let us show people on a map. So we're looking at a way to have an interface. This is the thing, though. Like, they'd probably let us, we're still submitting it to make sure, but I think they're going to let us show where people are at in a list. Like in Facebook, you can do that. It's like a friends near me or something like that. You can see people in a list near you that are friends on Facebook. So something similar to that with a lot more filter features and stuff like that too. So I think we can still make something valuable, but it's a real bummer that a map is the way to do it in my mind. Like, you see clusters, you can zoom in and see who's in that cluster, or you can filter and you only see people on the map that are exactly that. So instead of doing that, we're going to have to redo the interface and stuff. So that's what's holding it up. I mean, we spent a couple of weeks going through the appeals and all that stuff and trying to get them to tell us, hey, what's going on? You said it was okay, now you don't. And that's the best we can. Basically, if you ever make an app, they don't tell you what to do. They just tell you what you can't do. They say, well, you can't do that. We're like, well, what can we do? Like, yeah, you can't do that. And we're like, well, this app does that. Well, we can't talk about that app. Because there's apps that, I'm not going to name them all, but there's apps that essentially do pretty close to what we want to do, but not for RVers and not with the exact same features. And they're like, well, we can't talk about that app. So it's vague. I get it. They want to be secure, especially if this is on Android. From what we can tell, we could do whatever we want, just about. But we'd already put all this time and energy into the iOS and the Apple version, and then we're going to go to Android after that. So we're kind of like, man, we got to finish this iOS version. We got to get something out and see if it works. We don't want to take another insane amount of time developing Android and still not know if it works or not. So we want to see if people want it, if it's something you guys are excited about. If you want to join the beta, it's still a map version, which is actually better than probably the final version will be. It's lessjunkmorejourney.com/beta, and it'll show you what the login is and all that.
The password.
The password, yeah. The password's beta, by the way. BETA, all lowercase. And you can go and install that, and you can try to. It's still cool. We got 50, 60 people in there that have been hanging out, like all patrons pretty much, except for a couple of people we've met along the way too. So we love it. It's what we wanted when we started RVing. That's why we started this app. And it'll still be helpful, but it's kind of frustrating that that's what happened. So, yeah, Dieter said, hey, from DC, not RV friendly. Totally, not in DC. Let's see. Oh yeah, the news said the Balloon Fiesta sold out 18 minutes is what Stephanie said.
Wow.
It might have been. It was crazy fast.
It's crazy.
Let's see. RV Park, that would be, I don't know what's going on with
Views.
Yeah, the views. Yeah, I don't know. Let me know if you guys have got a terrible connection or anything. Let me know if that's going on. Let's see. Live video interrupted. No, video's interrupting a lot for me as well. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know what we're gonna do. We may have to just pay for a connection back here at Donna's house or something like that. Let's see. Video's having problems. So that's what's happening. Getting slight pauses. Toll booths. Organizing app. Snapchat. GPS locations. Sorry, I'm catching up on all the comments. When I go on a rant, we have to like go through and catch up on everything. If our village on iOS is allowed, I'd request Apple review against that. Let's see. Are you guys having signal problems because it keeps freezing? We may be, yeah, and that's what we were saying earlier. Like, this is the first time we've used AT&T, but the Verizon was sketchy too. Just connection issues, goodness, I'm sorry, guys. Video interrupting, cut out, back now, up and going better now. All right, is it back? I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry about that. I don't know what to... We've... I guess we could have done it at your sister's house, but I checked the connection there and it was still only... It was 1 meg down and it was like only 1 meg up, I think, which the upload is what you're looking for.
Just having trouble with internet for some reason these past little bit.
Okay. I could swap to the Verizon and see what happens, but I don't have a lot of confidence in that. Let me know. Can you guys see us right now? Should I swap to Verizon? There's the low network connection there. Okay, I swapped over to Verizon. I swapped over to Verizon. Let me see what it does on Verizon here. Maybe it'll hold. Okay, we're back. Okay, I tried Verizon. We'll try Verizon. We'll see if it holds on Verizon. All right, we're back. I'll keep it on Verizon then. Oh, now we're gone. Are we back or are we gone? I'm sorry, guys. All right, they're saying we're back. We'll leave it on Verizon. We'll try Verizon. I swapped it off AT&T to Verizon, and we'll see if it holds. It's... man. I'm scared to death to walk around and show you everything I've done to try to get the internet to work here with Verizon. But I think you guys that came in kind of late, I think it pretty much came down to Verizon. I feel like is capping our connection here on our phones and on our hotspot. So it's frustrating. Okay. Maybe we're good. All right. So you want to get into the winter stuff, the cold stuff? Why don't you talk about, I'm going to go grab a couple things because I'm scared to death to move. We were going to move around, but so I'm not going to move around. I'm scared to death. I'm going to leave it right here. But I'll let Marissa talk about maybe what's frustrating. Let's see, add some lumen and better for reception. She's going to talk about what's frustrating about RVing in the winter to her. And I'll be right back.
Oh, yeah?
I'll grab a couple things. Yeah. Yep.
Number one. No, I'd say, one of the biggest things, I mean, obviously you all know that I love having a long hot shower every now and then because we do so much boondocking that when we get back and have hookups, that's just one thing that I don't want to go wrong. And something about in the winter, you'll notice that you don't get hot water as long. I don't know what and right now we don't have the endless hot water heater. So once we got that wasn't an issue. But in the winter, your hot water doesn't last as long. Honestly, besides just
That's your biggest?
being cold, when the water freezes, hey, I don't know if you remember the video of when our water froze and I attempted to already get in the shower in Amarillo and was scooping water out because our trap had froze. So now there are ways if you're setting up, and that's what Nathan's getting there, if you're setting up in the cold for the long haul, but for us, we're never in it for the long haul. So we're still moving so fast. So we're not going to set up a skirt and, do those extra steps that you can do if you're going to be there for long periods of time. But because we're here for a couple months in like November and December, we're probably going to do a few more steps. Our water's already froze once. The other night it got down low and we didn't know it, and our outside faucet cracked. So Nathan's trying to weld that. So that's already happened.
All right, I'm coming back. I had to grab pictures of a few things.
You grabbed pictures.
Yeah, I'm super thorough here. All right. So as far as gadgets and gear, let me get my list out too.
Oh, yeah.
Gotta have a list, right? Okay, because one of the questions is, what do you do for heat? I'm not taking a picture of it. You guys have seen it in our videos, but when we can, we like electric heat. I know we've talked about propane heat puts out more moisture. I don't think it technically puts out more moisture. I think it's that electric heat takes away a little more moisture. So when we can, we try to use electric heat, especially if you're in an RV park and the electric's included. Mm-hmm. That's great too. So we have our electric fireplace in the living room. That's one reason we love that. If you have a small space, like a small Class C or a small room, we had the Airstream, like with us in the back. If it was like maybe just going to get down to, 40 or something, maybe even 35, like this would honestly do like the back bedroom in the Airstream. Mm-hmm. In this RV, it starts getting below 40. We need something heavier, but I do like this. This is only like 350 watts. So we could even like use the lithium, and run that part of the night if we needed to, or even the whole night, and it would take the lithium down, I don't know, maybe 20% or something like that, using 350 watts. So that's good. This is called Sensor Push. There's other versions of this, but let's see, should get the moisture at least, I think so. Now you could use this. This connects to an app on your phone. So the cool thing about this is you could buy as many of these as you want. I say as many, maybe it's like a limit of 15, but it's a crazy number. But you can buy these. You could put one in your water bay. You could put one underneath the RV. You could put it in your kid's bedroom if you're worried if they're cold or not. You could put it by your baby. You could put these in different places. You can open the app while you're laying there in bed at night to double check everything before you go to bed. Or you can set alarms on it if you want to, and it'll alert you. But ultimately, like, these are cool because they help you kind of keep track of the temperature in different places in the rig. Now, these aren't cheap. I think they're like $40-50 a piece. And they're definitely, you can buy, if you just want, all you want to keep an eye on is like the bay, you can buy one like $20 or something. And it's like you get a little monitor and you get a thermostat and you just put it in the bay. This keeps track of humidity too. So if you're in a small rig, that's part of why I bought it, because humidity in the Airstream is a big deal. And it sent me an alert when it started to get too humid, and we knew, hey, we need to keep the windows cracked a little bit, get some airflow going. Humidity's that was one of the questions, was humidity. Yeah. Humidity's tough. Like, it was definitely worse in the Airstream in that small space.
We didn't have any issues in our Class A.
No.
And then, yeah, the Airstream, we started to see it in there. It's not been too bad in the fifth wheel either. Not as bad.
Yeah, it's not too bad. I think the size of the RV has an effect on the humidity for sure. I think airflow has an effect, some of that too. I think, again, we prefer electric heat. Was that all the physical? As far as gadgets, this is kind of a gadget, but I like to use Dark Sky is the app I use a lot on my phone. I like that you can set alerts. So I'm all about alerts and automation if I can, because it reminds me of things. So you can set an alert if it's supposed to get, say, below 30 degrees that upcoming night. It can alert you. I've got it set at 12 p.m. to alert me if it's going to get below 30 degrees that night. So I know, hey, you better shut off the water. You better sort of prep things, because it can come out of nowhere. It could be like, in Tennessee, it could be like 70-something degrees, and it might get below freezing that night. It's just, it's crazy. And I know some of you guys experience that too. So you can set alerts for rain and all kinds of other stuff too. But in this conversation, that's kind of what Dark Sky is a big deal for me. And I have an Apple Watch where I can, it's kind of like a gadget, I guess, but I can always see what the wind speed is. I can see, so if you have an awning and that kind of thing too, keeping up with rain and wind, you're very in touch with the weather, or you need to be, because you never know, you don't want your awning out and forget that, oh crud, there's 35 mile per hour gusts coming in, kind of thing. And same thing, the cold can come out of nowhere.
Or travel days.
Yes, travel days with the wind and stuff like that can matter too. The rain, the wind, everything like that.
That fly won't leave us alone.
So I went out and took these. Now I say all that to say, I do that and I still mess up. I mean, it happens. So this happened 2 nights ago. So we It looks like a medical patient or something. So I wasn't paying attention. I didn't have my alerts set up. I think I knew. Actually, I'd glanced at the weather, and I knew it was supposed to get down. I think to like 28. People were saying get down to like 28, and usually 28, like in the past for the Airstream, like we're upper 20s for one night. It's not that big a deal. I mean, you might have a tiny bit of ice in your hose or something, but it's not going to like start busting stuff all over the RV. Right? For us, anyways, what we experienced. But it didn't. It got down to 22 instead of 28, and it still didn't mess up anything. It didn't mess up anything in the RV. It didn't mess up the water hose, but it cracked. That's what that is. That's our water spigot. So it cracked our spigot, and that's probably not going to work. I used 2-part epoxy on it, and then I've got clamps on it, and I'm going to leave it like that for a day or two and see if it can fix that crack. But I'll probably have to replace the spigot. The good thing about these spigots is it's going to, when it's off. The water's drained down, so I can still turn it off. It's not like, if we leave and we go to Florida, we're going to have this big giant water leak, and once we turn it off, it is off. It's not going to like leak through it or anything like that. So I'll keep an eye on it. We'll see how that goes. So don't do that. But this is something. So this is heat tape. I've got it. I also like to go in. Looks like a weird snake or something. I go in. I also use like the foam pipe things you can buy at Lowe's or a hardware store. And I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to go in and put it around this so that it just sort of hugs that heat tape and keeps it in the hose. You can buy a hose that has sort of like the heat tape built into it. I saw Leanne on Mike that works on the solar stuff. He said he had one. It can get kind of brittle and act weird, and they're pretty expensive too. So I've never went out and bought one that had it all built in. I think maybe Camco makes it. I don't know. I've heard they're okay, but it is more money. So I just do it this way. It's kind of the same thing. It's got the heat tape wrapped around it, or I wrap it around it, and then I put the foam thing around it. And then I'm going to brag on this. It's not very often we buy something cheap at Walmart, and we've actually loved this little fan. So we bought this little fan. I don't know, if you go to Walmart, you'll see it. It's like $15 or something. But I've been thrilled with it. Like, it's got 3 different heat settings.
So it's a fan.
Yeah, it's got a regular fan. Yeah, it's got a regular fan, 600 watt heat, 750, 800 watt heat, and then like 1500. So I like having all those different levels of heat because we don't want to use more electricity than we have to. And then we got the fan if we want just a fan going on it. It's been good.
What we're using in our bedroom.
Yeah, so we've got that in the bedroom with JJ and stuff, and it's been pretty good. So that's a lot of babbling. Let me catch up with everybody.
You can also put like Reflectix in the windows.
Yes.
It's
which we're gonna do. We're gonna put it in the windows we don't use very often.
Right.
If it gets really bad, we might have to go ahead.
Because it's getting down. What's it supposed to get down to?
15-ish.
Yeah.
Some are saying 12. But yeah, the high is like 30, 32.
And we usually don't have to deal with weather too much because obviously with the RV lifestyle, that's one of the good things is you get to head where the weather's good. But because we're here for a couple months for the holidays, we're just having to like do a few things to get us through. So,
and this stuff isn't extreme. Like if you're staying in Maine, all winter and you're in extreme conditions, like you would do some of this and you would equip with some of this, but you would also, I think I heard Marissa talking about, you want to insulate around underneath your RV. There's other steps you'd want to do to really, really make sure that, you stay warm. For us, we just got these little spurts of cold weather. We're typically not going to be like a high of 25 for 2 weeks straight. I'm not saying it couldn't happen, but most likely that's not going to happen in Tennessee before Christmas. It could, but hopefully not. So something too, like if you got a spurt where it's like 2 nights, which is what we're going to have, where it's going to be like a low of 15 to 20 for like 2 nights. Another option too is you can fill your water tank, unhook the water hose, let all that drain out, and just go off your water tank for 2 days. And just make sure you keep your propane on underneath. You do want your propane running when it starts getting below 25 degrees to keep stuff underneath the RV warmed up. Don't just go by, when I say electric heat, like don't just do electric heat if it's getting super cold or your stuff underneath the RV not freezing unless you put electric heaters underneath. I'll let you, Jenny was asking about warm clothing. Do we travel all seasons all the time?
When we first started, we tried to keep things separate, but I think what I realized is but doing this travel lifestyle, the weather is just so unpredictable and we needed all things on hand, and so we like to layer. Like we keep all seasons in stocked. But we don't have a whole lot of those kind of things. So, you know, we all have like a good jacket, a good hat, like good shoes, all those things that we need. But we just kind of layer up. So
I'm about efficiency. I'm totally boring in the way I dress. I wear this thing all the time. It's a merino wool long sleeve. Who makes this thing? Something 99 or I don't know.
You've had it so long, your
know.
tags worn off.
Yeah, I could look and know.
Nathan likes
they make the socks too. Minus
Merino
30, minus 33, I think.
Yeah.
Makes it. So.
Nathan likes to buy high quality stuff and just wear it forever. I'm a little different. I like to change things up. So I do have some high quality things, but I get so bored and like to get new things. I just kind of like to, you know, switch it out. But definitely just having like good cold weather gear, but you don't have to have a lot of it. Just like a good jacket, good insulation. And I still do some capsule stuff. So like my leggings, like my workout leggings, I wear these year round. So I wear them in the summer, they're breathable. And then in the winter, I'll wear them and just layer with them. So even to church today, I seriously am wearing like my workout leggings under my church stuff, because I mean I just multi-use everything, so I can work out in them, I can wear them to church. That's kind of how you are with
Hopefully not in that order.
Yeah. That's how you are with your pants too, though.
I do. Yeah, we could do like a wardrobe one sometime or something. I think and get into some of that. Because
just
I mean,
breathable layers, and I like to keep all seasons on hand, because I mean, you can just wake up one day and it's chilly, and then the next day it's warm, and we're just moving so much. It's just easy.
When you're traveling, like if we go up a mountain and down a mountain and stuff, it's nice to be able to take those layers off. Like if all you ever wear is like a t-shirt and like an insanely huge jacket, like you don't have as much flexibility for those varying temperatures too. And when we travel long days, it might change a whole lot based on whether we're going north and south.
That's why I wear a lot of flannel too, because it's really breathable and I can tie it around my waist.
Let's see. Karen says she's winterized her trailer while she's up north and basically using it as a big shiny tent. Let's see. Some things you do to help the water not freeze. So, and that was one of the questions I think we got was about, do the pipes freeze in the RV? So most of your RVs now, so as far as the water outside the RV, like that heat tape with the foam pipe insulation outside of it is really good. Like that, I'm not gonna say that's foolproof in super cold weather, but that's pretty good. And then most of your RVs now, they have the underbelly is not wide open. It is insulated a little bit, or at least has some sort of a tarp underneath it or something. And your propane heat, if you look at your brochure for your RV, most of them send a little bit of that propane heat underneath your RV to keep all the pipes okay. So as long, and that's kind of the game. we don't want to like just stay warm on propane heat, because then you're paying for a ton of propane. But at the same time, you don't want so much electricity going in the RV that your thermostat never kicks on and your propane never kicks on underneath, and your pipes end up freezing. So that's kind of what we don't know. In the Airstream, I knew what that, that ratio kind of was. I'm still figuring out in this, you got to play with that. So if you know it's getting down to say 20 degrees, maybe you have your electric heaters on to keep it, I don't know, whatever, 70 degrees in the rooms, and you realize that you need to have the propane heat set to maybe 50 degrees or something. I don't know. It's weird in the fifth wheel because we've got 3 separate living spaces that are closed off by rooms, and our thermostat, this may sound really confusing, I hope not, but our thermostat is in the middle, and we don't keep any heat on in the middle, because why would we heat the middle of the RV when we're in our, Hensley's in the bunk room and we're in the bedroom with JJ. So the middle gets super cold. So I don't want to set the thermostat in the middle to 70, because it would be going like non-stop, because there's no other heat in the middle. So you got to figure out, I don't know if that makes any sense or not, but the bottom line is you want enough propane going to keep your pipes warm under the RV, and you'll be okay. But now if you're leaving, that's where people get in trouble. If they leave and go somewhere and there's still water all in their RV and they haven't winterized it, it could get bad.
But living in your RV,
if you're living in your RV, just use a little propane. It'll keep the pipes okay. And you do have to do a little bit of work on the pipes outside. But if you're just going somewhere and it's cold for a couple nights, just disconnect your water hose outside. Make sure you keep your propane going, and you'll be okay. Let's see. Yeah, Leanna came in here. Dyson heater in our bedroom. Sensor push is great for those of us with pets. We use it to monitor the RV temp when we're on a field trip. Yes, that's
really
true.
good.
That's another great use.
My fear is my kids being cold. Like I know I stressed Nathan out about that, but I guess you all get that, right? Like I'm just so afraid for them to be cold, and that's why we got these little sensors, which JJ's still in our bedroom, so we're like sweating at night because we're hot, but to keep him warm.
We're figuring that out too.
Yeah, we're still trying to adjust that. But I just don't want my kids to be cold, and I was afraid they wouldn't be able to tell me. And obviously Hensley's at an age that she can tell me, and I think I ask her every morning.
She knows how to get under. We got the Betties, which
Yes.
is awesome. She can like sort of zip up and get under
The
the
Betty's was really nice because when she
JJ
was
doesn't quite know how to.
no, when
do
she
that
was
yet.
small, she didn't know to cover up, and so I could just like zip her up in it. Now, obviously, she's at an age she could tell me if she was cold, and she knows how to cover up. And we just footed pajamas, love footed pajamas for them, but yeah.
Todd mentioned, and I've had. So I may not know it all. Like when we say electric heat over propane based on moisture, it may not be true at all. Like that's just how it feels to me, but that doesn't mean that's the way it is. Todd said it holds moisture no matter what if it's heat. So Todd probably knows what he's talking about. It's my guess. He talked about dehumidifier. We haven't. We've had a small one in the Airstream a little bit, but we just had such a limited amount of room. Usually we would just happen to open the windows a little bit and then run more propane and just kind of get air. I do know airflow seems to help a whole lot with it too. When you have zero airflow and that air just gets to like kind of stagnate in the RV, it's not good. Yeah, Steve says I use a residential dehumidifier. Beautiful. Oh, Renell, it's about Western Arizona.
Talk about the
Wait,
weather.
AR, is that Arizona or is that Arkansas? Is AR Arizona or Arkansas? AZ?
AZ's Arizona.
Okay, so Arkansas. So it's beautiful in Arizona or Arkansas even.
Really? Huh.
70 degrees. Oh, I didn't read the rest of it. Tomorrow's supposed to be frigid in 20s and 30s.
Yeah,
okay,
that
that sounds
sounds
like
like
Tennessee.
Tennessee, yeah.
Exactly. Okay.
What is it today here? Yeah, it's 65 right now. It's nice today.
Yeah, it's beautiful here.
Yeah.
Steven says wrap the hose in tinfoil before wrapping it with heat tape, and it helps to spread the heat more evenly. Yeah, I think I read that too. See, that's great. You guys are. Brian says he put Reflectix on the bottom of the RV, quick and easy skirt. Yes. The Reflectix is nice because you can. It's got a little bit of rigidity to it and a little bit of bend. So if you cut it cut it a little wider than what you need, like for windows or wherever you're putting it, and when you put it in, it'll kind of stay in place based on that bending. We used a lot of that in RV in Alaska to block out the light. So Reflectix is good for that too. Jonathan said 0G with the heat tape. Let's see, also left the water running. That's a little trick too. If you have a little bit of water flow, I think it decreases the chances of it freezing up too. If
We've
you
done
leave
a
the
drip
sink
before.
Drip, yeah.
We've done that.
Coley says back in Iowa. Ugh. Under Armour makes winter and summer pieces of clothing for that reason. On again. I'm sorry about the connection, guys. Brian says 60-watt light in the water bay is a great way to keep it from freezing. Yeah, you can definitely use something electric like that with just a light or something. Love to see a wardrobe video.
I could do that.
Did we get any winter clothing? We're at LL Bean. I got a flannel shirt.
I have been wanting Nathan to get a flannel shirt for so long, and
Lumberjack.
he would not do it because he's like, I can't wear that all year long. That's only a winter piece, and I can't wear it in the summer. He likes to wear more like breathable stuff, and I'm like, you know what? Get over it because I want to see you in a flannel shirt. So, ironically enough, Nathan is the one that bought something to wear. You would think it would have been me. I would have loved to buy something at LL Bean, but
Let's see.
it looks good on him. I like your new flannel.
Maybe I'll wear it. So I think it's on the next. It's coming up. It's coming up in a
When we
video
go
too.
to Portland,
Yeah. They're saying 4 and 7-year-old worried about them being cold too. Yeah, I think having a thermostat. Arkansas. I think we would know our states by now. Oh goodness.
I might have a picture actually.
Jeff's asking. She's getting a picture of me. You're excited about that flannel. Have you ever traveled while fully winterized? If so, what did you do for water to drink? We haven't. I don't honestly. Once we start living in the RV, like we don't winterize it anymore. Now we have. If you go back in videos, it was January of 2018, maybe 18. It's when we're going to Texas. We left Tennessee to go for Texas, which we've been through twice. but we thought naively once we got to Amarillo, because it's in Texas, we were running from the cold in Tennessee. It was like almost 0 degrees in Tennessee. Yeah. So we're like, we're out of here. Let's just get to Texas. We'll be okay. So we got to Texas, Amarillo. Yeah, not okay. Everything was frozen over. You couldn't hook up to campgrounds. All the propane they were out of propane in the Flying J's and everything we could find off the interstate. So I think we just kept going, right? Did we even spend the night somewhere that night? What did we do?
We kept going.
I think we just drove into the night.
I think we got to California from Tennessee in 4 days. We were
we
cold.
Yeah, yeah.
It was like January 1st, and it was
we rolled
freezing.
into Phoenix. Was the first time we got some.
Yes, we rolled walked into Phoenix, outside, and it was
like,
beautiful.
oh my goodness. But yeah, so we haven't winterized before we travel. We've had stuff freeze over, so our pipes. That's something too. If it's like 0 degrees, we had the propane on in the RV the whole time we're going down the road to heat the pipes. But you got to think, if you're driving down the road and it's like 0 degrees, like it just wasn't enough. The propane couldn't keep it warm enough. And so we would get to where we're at, and even though the propane had been running, our stuff underneath was still frozen. It wasn't frozen to the point that stuff was broken or messed up, but like we couldn't use our water pump. We couldn't do any water. Marissa tried to take a shower, and the water like froze before it went down. Oh my goodness.
Oh. Our internet's so bad.
Yeah,
it's like
it's fuzzy. We gotta like wait for pictures to load.
But I had Nathan model for it. See this?
Stop.
See him in his shirt? Awesome.
Oh goodness.
Right, that was worth it.
Carl asked on the questions on the Patreon. Totally changing the subject here. He's asking about all of our tanks. The tanks are typically the same way. Typically your tanks, and you'll see that in the brochure, the tanks are heated to typically have something to heat the tanks underneath. And your valves can freeze. I've had my valves freeze, but what's really bad, because we leave our gray open typically, is when it starts getting so cold that your sewer pipe starts freezing. Like, I've had that happen. I think that year it was getting down to 0. Like, it's got to get, you're talking like single digits for multiple days before that starts happening. Your water hose will freeze easily.
And what was tough about that is
they're saying thank you, so you guys are making me feel better.
We were traveling, so it's, once you go those long periods of time, I mean, you know what I mean? It's hard to, like, while you're traveling, heat your RV.
I was talking about that. We had the propane on, but it still froze.
Searching for your photo?
Yeah, you were focused on how good I looked in that shirt. Let's see. Bob's asking on here, do you need, this is a general question, so I guess if you guys got general questions too, we can shift over to that. I don't know if you guys have got more, you think more winter stuff? I think we definitely did not cover everything, but some of it.
Just bundle up.
We're gonna bundle up. It's just for a few days,
yeah.
And then I think it's gonna get better in Tennessee. So I'm still not crazy about that. But if it's when it's like 2 weeks in a row and it's like in the teens and the high's like 20, 25 for 2 weeks in a row.
I'm like, I'm cold.
Like, you can't
turn
even
it
get
up.
out.
Nathan's like, are you wearing socks?
Yeah.
Are you wearing this?
Like, you can use a lot of propane really fast.
Yeah. So it's hard trying to find a happy medium where I'm just like, crank it up. And he's like, go put more clothes on.
I'm saying layers. Bob's asking, do you need a printer scanner in the RV? So we have a printer. It's pretty small. We don't keep it in the RV. Oh, we do now. We used to keep it in the van with the Airstream. Mm-hmm. So it's technically in storage underneath. We don't use the printer. So we have things, the things that we use more often are closer to us. And so we only use the printer maybe once a month or once every 2 months. Not very often. So we do need it though, because it's real. When we need it, we need it.
That's one of the things about it.
We don't. We wish we didn't.
You don't have to use it that often, but when you have to have it, you have to have it. There are certain things we do where they're like, print this or bring this with you, or so we have to do it, or scan things in, because we're on the road.
So there's to sign something, and which you can digitally do a lot of that now. But
but just it's one of those things we can't not have, but we don't use it all that often. So
yeah, we keep it under the RV and just get it out when we need it once a month or something like that. I guess returns. I do returns. If I ever have to do an Amazon return or something, which we don't get as much Amazon stuff until we're back in Tennessee anyways. It's not that big of a deal. Karen says, I've lived without the water in the Airstream. I keep a 5-gallon, see how to put it down, jug in the truck, much smaller one in the trailer that I use daily. Not perfect, but it works. Also turn my toilet into a kitty litter and garbage bag situation. I lived that way for 2.5 months last year. So the winter can definitely change the way you RV. Like if you're in a super cold environment. And we talked about that. If you're going to start RVing, because we know people, they're like, we can't travel yet, but we'll live in our RV either let's say it's southern Florida, or it's like in the summer, or it's like we said, Maine in the winter. It's really tough to start your RV adventure in an extreme environment. It just
fighting the elements.
Because the first 6 months are hard enough.
Yeah.
And if you don't get that payback of going somewhere really awesome, like it's not. That's like that's almost like the worst part of RVing is being in weather that's not ideal. And if you're stuck there, not getting to travel and have adventure in bad weather, if it's okay weather, it's not as bad. But if you're starting your adventure in the worst part of the season and you're having to deal with this stuff,
so maybe wait. If
you figure out a way,
start it in the winter.
I get it though. I mean, if you're selling your house, you can't totally control when it sells and stuff like that too. But
I think when we first started RVing or researching it, Nathan found a blog of a lady that had done that. She was like, where was it? Like maybe Iowa or something, like Minnesota, somewhere really cold. And they started in the winter and they weren't moving. They were stationary and everything was like breaking and and freezing over. And she's like, it was a miserable experience. And then they hated it and they quit. And it's like, I wish they would have really got to enjoy the fun parts of it.
Yeah, I would just rent something for a little while or something, almost instead of starting in the RV in extreme weather.
Because it's such a learning curve anyway.
Yeah. Karen said she was still traveling, but it was still harder. So, Brian was asking about socks. Same question about socks. I'm not sure if that was layering with socks, maybe. I don't ever layer with. I've got these thick merino wool ones I wear sometimes, but. Better to have.
Nathan loves merino wool everything.
Well, it's warm, but it's a little more breathable than cotton. I don't know. I like it. Renell says, better to have and not need than need not have. Spent February, March in Indiana last year. We had an external propane tank brought in, so we didn't have to worry about the refills. Yeah, that's a good tip too. If you're staying, and again, we haven't stayed in extreme weather long periods of time, so we haven't done that. But if you're staying a long period of time, a lot of times you can call someone and have them drop off a large propane tank, so you're good to go. You don't have to I'm not kidding. Like you could use a 20-pound every 2 days probably if you're in cold, maybe even faster. I mean, you can use a lot of propane really fast in really cold weather.
Is that all your questions?
Anything else? Yeah, I think so. I think that's what I have. You got anything else?
A pair of woolly socks.
Woolly socks. Think anything else? Did you have any other?
Lightning round?
I don't know. We could do a lightning round. We have a tank being dropped off. We're using 2 electric radiators. Love the live videos. Thank you. We love them too. I think we really want to get a good internet situation here in Tennessee because the reason we don't do as many of these when we're traveling around, if you can imagine, we're moving every 3 to 5 days. The internet, who knows what it's doing where we're at, whether it's good or not. And we have nobody to help with the kids at all. And I know a lot of times people are like, oh, they're kids, we get it, but it can be really loud and distracting.
Nathan has a hard time focusing.
And it's me. Let's just be honest, it's me. I can't keep my focus. So like if Hensley's asking a question or JJ's doing something, I'm like trying to talk or trying to think. And so it's way easier and better. Not that we're only going to do live chats in Tennessee, but we would like to at least have a stable situation here. Can you write any of your travel expenses off? So we don't talk about that stuff a lot because I'm not an accountant. It's all different in different states. And it definitely varies depending on what kind of things you do. For us, we're pretty comfortable writing off things. Basically, I ask myself, is this something I would have bought or done if we weren't doing all the YouTube and all the video and stuff? So definitely camera gear. I would not have the amount of camera gear I have. I didn't have any of that camera gear before we started. We started with an iPhone and a used GoPro 3 or something. So definitely that kind of stuff. It gets tricky. Again, I'm not an accountant. A lot of them, they're not as crazy about you writing off where you stay and your RV itself if you don't also have an actual physical home with I don't know what they require, like a bedroom, a kitchen, and something else or whatever. So that's kind of a gray area.
So in order for it to be considered like a workspace, because you can, obviously if you have a house, you can write off an office or something like that. But it has to be 100% dedicated, right? So that's where we've had
That's what
trouble.
they're saying. But at the same time, you got people like musicians and stuff. Like, are they not able to write off you know, if they don't have a home, does that mean they're not able to write off their fuel and expenses and things like that? So we've kind of worked with an accountant on figuring out a balance for us. I wouldn't dare advise. I can't say it's gray, and that is, to me, that's the big question you ask. Is this something I would have done or paid for or gotten if I wasn't? I'm assuming you're asking this if you're doing some sort of a business or something like that on the road. Because obviously if you're just traveling just to travel, I mean, it's pretty hard to write stuff off. And I think you have to prove it's not a hobby. Like, you have to actually, you know, if you're making, you know, just a couple $1,000 doing something, you would probably, we didn't write anything off, like our first probably year and a half, 2 years, whatever.
But we've gotten more.
Because I think it was harder to prove that it wasn't just a hobby.
Right.
Because of the amount of, you know, let's see. Ron says, when Julie's cold, I have to ask her if she's wearing socks.
Yeah, I get that question.
I'm serious, though.
I get that question.
Use a lot of heat through your head and through your feet. I look over and she's wearing t-shirt and shorts and nothing on her feet or anything. I'd be freezing too. Trailer skirts, they're a great idea. We don't always do them because we're not here too long, and it seems like the cold spells are just like really short spurts. But if you're staying for a long period of time, hey, if you got hay bales or something, I've seen that before too.
Yeah.
I don't know if Marissa would ever let me do the hay bales. But I've seen Reflectix. Some people you've seen use Reflectix as a skirt. We haven't booked February in Arizona yet. We usually only move on the weekends due to work, so week-long stays. Are we screwed? I don't know. We haven't done Arizona too much in February, right?
No, we weren't there in February. We were there April-ish.
If you need week-long stays, I think if you got 1,000 trails, you might be okay. I mean, I think you'll be okay. I don't think the vibe I get, at least with Arizona, unless you're stuck and you have to be in specific cities at specific times, the vibe I get is that Arizona is not as bad as like Florida. Florida's pretty bad from what I understand. Or if you want to, now state parks are bad in the winter anywhere south. Those are bad too. But if it's not a state park, and even in Florida, if you're not worried about the super nice or high traffic campgrounds, you're not worried about state parks, I think you could still maybe do the week thing. Yeah, we write most of ours off due to my wife's job working from home. So
I think it's just what you're comfortable with. You have to decide what that is.
Well, and seek, talk to an accountant that does taxes in your state and stuff. And are we going to have Thanksgiving at the trailer? We're close to family. I'd say we'll go to Marissa's sister's, probably, is my guess.
Yeah, we love being around here, close to family. We were talking about Thanksgiving today, trying to get it together. There's so many of us in my family, and like I have a sister that's a nurse and a sister-in-law that's a nurse, so like they're working holidays, and then there's coaches in the family, so they're having Thanksgiving tournaments, so it's like so hard getting us all together. So
coaching and nursing, like, yeah, it's tricky.
So I don't think we have had people over here. We had the family over here one time. We honestly, we do fires out here a lot when our family's here, because the RV has a lot of space, but it doesn't have a lot of seating is the trouble. So we're all just standing when we're in here. So we just do fire outside.
I mean, there's more room in the fifth wheel, but that is one. If I had to pick one thing that I'm not crazy about this layout in this fifth wheel, is that we really wanted the mid bunk so that we could have the rear living. And so it's not suited, like everybody's kind of like looking this way instead of in the rear living. You'll have at least couches facing each other, or maybe like cornered. It's a little bit better as far as the layout for conversations and stuff. If you like to, we're sitting in front of the TV. I mean, we don't watch it.
One day they are going to make a mid bunk the size we want.
That's built, to be able to handle full-time living and stuff too. So Jenny's asking about Xmas decor. So our thought process on most of the decor stuff is we don't store it. So we get a real tree, so that's going to be thrown away once we get done. We just get really cheap lighting or ornaments, or it's pretty minimal. I mean, we got more room in here, so there might be a little bit more in here.
We might do a little bit more. Hensley wants a big tree this year, she said. She's asked for like the past few years, can I have a big tree? And I'm like,
what do you mean by big?
Like, I guess like a big tree. I don't know.
All right.
So
we'll see what happens.
I don't know. We'll have to take JJ's chair out or something.
Yeah.
But
sorry, JJ, you got nowhere to sit and eat. We'll see what happens with that.
But Hensley loves decorations, like the girl loves decorations so much.
Yeah,
she
she's
drives us nuts about wanting to go to Walmart and buy decorations. So we've got her like crafting and making her own decorations right now and we've even started her on chores so she can earn money so she can buy decorations. This is how much she loves to decorate. So I'm sure she'll want to do some Christmas stuff.
There'll be, I don't know if you guys have seen our clips with the Halloween stuff and some of that. So now we've gotten all that down, and she's starting to do. I guess we're just skipping the Thanksgiving decor and going straight to Christmas decor, but, which is that's what everybody does, anyways, right? Yeah, that's what everybody. Let's just face it, everybody wants to put the Christmas decor up. Let's see. Renell's talking about small business owner write off some expenses, selective. Yeah, that's what. The taxes and insurance and all of that stuff is so state specific and is so specific to your situation. Like, it's really, I don't like to, I'm just like, I almost don't want to touch it. Marissa, do you miss nursing?
Yes, there are parts about it I miss. I miss, like, there's just such a bond taking care of somebody who needs you with nursing. I will say it was really hard in the beginning, but now I can't believe it. I have not been PRN for, it'll be 2 years in January.
Really?
2 years in January. So now that I've stepped back for a couple years and we've just, obviously been having so much fun and I get to be with my kids, which is the whole reason that got us started on this lifestyle. Man, I've realized how stressful it was. Does that make sense? Like, sometimes you don't realize how much stress something brought on until you step back. So I've loved the freedom, the flexibility. But yeah, I do miss like being there for my patients, and that was fulfilling. I think it made me feel like I had a skill that was important, and I don't know. So I do miss that part, but I loved helping people. So I think I've just channeled that into our channel. Like, I want this channel to help people. I want it to be inspirational, and it's just helping in a different way is how I have to view it.
Yeah, that's always been, I don't know, our main motivation or whatever for even having a channel or doing this with you guys is just hopefully making a difference. Whether you RV or you don't, if you just figure out what's important in your life and you take some stuff away to be able to do more of that. I think that's what it's really about. Be going to any of the big RV shows this year? Yes, Tampa.
We're planning on Tampa.
Nothing else. I'm going to say that's, obviously nothing's 100% certainty, but that's really certain. We don't have dates on meetup or anything like that, but we should have some sort of meetup.
During the Tampa
RV show, which is January-ish, starts maybe the 14th or 15th, I think, something like that.
And we are going to the Full-Time Families Rally in Madison, Florida. So we'll be there.
I thought it was Alabama. Okay, yeah.
No, and then the RV Entrepreneur Summit in Alabama.
Okay.
So those are our 3 locations for the winter, or events that we're gonna be.
We still haven't booked anywhere to stay. But we booked for those 2 events.
So those are the 3 places we know will be at certain times.
Yeah. So those are locked in. We're pretty sure we'll be in the Orlando area around 17th.
After the Tampa RV show.
But we'll be there doing Disney stuff with friends that are
family,
coming in.
yeah.
So we'll be busy because they come in there. It's vacation time. So we try to drop everything and do everything we can for them. Tucson's cool. They can only be in specific areas. What passes do you travel with? America the Beautiful, state passes you like, private Good Sam types. America the Beautiful.
Love that pass.
For sure. The big ones, we've had a lot of them. I think depending on the area, since we're bigger now, Boondockers Welcome is tougher the bigger you get. So I don't know that we'll be, I don't know. We haven't done a lot of that. We've had a pass before. We just didn't use it much. Harvest Host the same way. We didn't use it at first, but I think if you look and it's an area you're going to be in, it can be a lot of fun. We like Harvest Host. Good Passport.
Sam.
Good Sam's okay.
Yeah.
It's only 10% off, so you have to really know that you're going to stay somewhere long enough to get that. One that I think you get back, Passport America. So if you look and you're going to be staying somewhere that takes Passport America, you can buy the Passport America online while you're waiting to check in, or you can buy it there at the campground. And like, as long as you're staying like, I think 2 nights, you'll get your money back right then. So like, I love that one. because a lot of the times it's not like you have to like hope you do more later to get your money back. Like you can get it back. If it's $40 a night with Passport America, you get $20 off a night, and that's around $40-$50 a year for the pass. Like you pretty much stay 2 nights, you're good. So I love Passport America for that reason. Thousand Trails I think is situational as well. We've had it off and on because we know we're going to be in Florida. We know there's a lot of Thousand Trails there, and we know that a lot of families are at those Thousand Trails because we have a bigger rig. So lots of different things coming together for us to have that as a reason.
But we buy things as we need them.
Yes,
so
yes.
even if
That's
it
kind of big concept.
expires,
Yes.
we're not going to renew it until we get
That's a
in a
big concept.
situation where we need it. So that's kind of how
State parks the same way. We don't like buy a state park pass until we're like at the first state park for that state. Because you can buy, most of the states, you can buy the state park pass at that state when you get there. Because we messed up one year, we bought one online.
Yeah.
And they had to mail it to us, but we were already left, so we couldn't get it in the mail. And then I can't remember what we ended up doing. I think we had to buy it again, didn't we? I think we had to buy it twice. So just wait. Just buy things when you get there. Buy it as you need it. Most of the time, you don't have to buy a lot of these passes ahead of time. You can just do it online right there, or you can do it at the place. So they're very happy to. Thousand Trails, you can join it in 30 seconds. Now, canceling, you've got to like
jump through the hoops.
you got to write it out. You got to mail it in. You got to give it to the guy with the donkey. Wait for it to get there. So cancellation's a little different with some of these, but joining super fast, super easy. You can't cancel online with Thousand Trails. You have to, anyways. Do you have a plug outside? Put a big tree outside and decorate it. Put lights on it. There you go. Done.
Great idea.
That's
We can do
tip
an
of the day.
outdoor big tree.
There you go. Outdoor. Set up a big tree outside. That's what everybody's saying.
Think of that.
Some of them already put their Christmas trees up, so
We might as well. Get to enjoy it longer. It's so much work.
Peter's saying thanks for helping him make the jump to full time.
Oh,
You're welcome, Peter.
awesome.
And I'm sorry about the comment with the castle. I know that wasn't you. Okay, we're gonna start wrapping up. I know because one of the reasons we hate to go over is I know some of you guys are wanting to stay for the whole chat, and you may have expected to go somewhere at 4. So, Good Sam, KOA, Passport America. There's lots. There's a whole. I think we've done a video on all these passes and stuff you can do. And it's not that one's better than the other. It's just you got to look at your situation and what you need. Like I said, I think Passport America is really easy to get that one back though, if it's somewhere you're going to stay. And same thing, Thousand Trails. If you're going to use it, pretty easy to get your money back. But you got anything else, babe? You got some more life-changing tips? Trish said thank you for the videos, great attitudes. Thank you, Trish. Julianne said too. You guys are awesome. Oh, same for us, Renell said, and timing.
Oh,
you guys are awesome.
it's so encouraging.
We appreciate it, and I hope, I don't know, maybe 2019 is pretty much, it's almost over. Maybe 2020 will be the year we get to run in. We hope to run into any of you guys we can. It's awesome to put faces with the names. And some of you guys that came in, when you came in, I know the face with the name, and it's awesome to see that. So we enjoy these. I hope at the feet, from what I can tell, it looks like the Verizon
Did better.
which is 1 meg up the whole time, but at least it's like a consistent 1 meg instead of AT&T doing whatever it's doing. So hopefully we may just do Verizon next time, and I hope it sticks it out. If it was choppy, or if you caught this on the tail end, I'm going to take this video and I'll put the whole thing. It should be solid, I think. I'll put the whole thing up on Patreon too, so we'll have the whole video there too. But you're welcome. Thank you, Lindsay. Thank you, Lisa.
Aww.
It's been great.
Yeah, we really enjoy these. These
do.
are, I don't know, just it's different. It's a different experience for us. We get. I feel like we're having a conversation instead of us just talking to the camera a lot of times. So it's good.
Yeah, we enjoy it. Great to talk to you guys. Hopefully it's been helpful. And we will catch you guys later.
Don't freeze.
Bundle up.